Alright guys, it's time for another discussion of The Strain. The Strain, Season 1, Episode 9, The Disappeared. I like the title. The title's kind of cool. It's just kind of haunting. The Disappeared. And you have to say it that way, of course. So, The Strain, in this episode, we really get to sort of recap on Jim Kent's death. That's really what we're delving with most of this episode, is you really see how it's affected Nora, how she feels like it should have been one of them to kill him, but Fett knows in the end they weren't going to be able to, so he did it himself, because we love Fett. After you've had such an action-packed episode, it can be kind of jarring to go to this one that really just sort of plays out the events, but I like that they did, because you're essentially having this really crazy intense episode, Creatures of the Night, and then now you're playing into this one where you're seeing the fallout of that. We're really seeing the group together for the first time, and you're seeing the dynamic that there's a little bit of tension, and of course we have to go back to get F's son, and his ex-wife has just disappeared, hence The Disappeared. Her boyfriend has come back as a vampire, and you see that there was signs of struggle with him, and of course F has to murder this vampire in front of his son. But is it like a quick, like whoosha, or like a bang bang? Oh no, he's bashing him with a shovel in front of his kid, and he's just with the shovel, like basically separating the head, and you're just going, oh, and he looks over, and you see this look on F's face, and you just know that kid is just messed up, and he's looking over at him, and he realizes what he's done, and I like that, because you're seeing this effect of this war against the vampires. There's still a lot of action in this episode. We get a lot of flashbacks, and personally this is my favorite flashback we've had, is we're flashing back and forth, obviously, between the Holocaust, and we're really seeing him start to try and fight the Master back in World War II. He's sort of laying in bed with the dagger, and you know it's coming, and then you just see it, and you see these capes flow by, and all of that, and it's just so intense, and then the Master grabs him and is breaking his hands as he holds him and basically talking about, where's your God now? And he says that, and it's kind of haunting, where he's just like, where is your God now? And he's just basically demolishing this man, and he drops him, lets him go for some reason. I wonder why. I love the actor. I don't know his name, and I feel bad that I don't know his name, but the guy who plays Satrakian in the flashbacks did an amazing job conveying this weakened character. He had broken hands, so in the morning when he's on his way to the trucks, and he's walking, the way he's walking and sort of guarding his hands, it's heartbreaking. And you see him, and he's taken to the pit, and he's really asking for a favor from Eichhorst, and Eichhorst is a Nazi. He does not care, and he basically just says, nope, to the pits with you. And he's looking, and you just, I don't know, the way he's holding himself, and he's just sort of broken. It's so heartbreaking, and it's really not necessarily hard to watch, but you feel so much emotion for him. And when by the Saved by the Bell, essentially, as the Americans start attacking, and just the way he's running away, and he can't get over the fence. He's like, I can't because my hands, and he's trying to explain that to people. It's heartbreaking. And I love that they're adding that drama, because it ultimately allows you to connect more with Satrakian later. I love that moment that Gus picks up the gun and he's aiming it at his friend, and even though the friend is a vampire and is just sucking the life out of somebody else, and then he just looks up and he looks over at Gus, and he gets this face that he knows him, and Gus is just having the hardest time with it. I absolutely love that scene. This episode had a lot of heartbreaking scenes, but yeah, that scene, we haven't seen much of Gus lately, and we still kind of haven't. It was just kind of that little spurt right there of Gus, and so now we know that he's running off. And I think it's going to be really interesting because they've kind of taken some liberties with the story from the books. And I think it'd be really interesting if they have Gus meet up with everybody and have like this one giant super team. I mean, I'm sure that they'll stay faithful to the books, but I think it'd be pretty cool. One last heartbreak scene. I wasn't too keen on it. I thought it was a little unnecessary. Was when F and Nora decide to bump Uglies on the floor, and as he gets up, because the friend comes in, she basically says, "You better not break my friend's heart." And he says, "I love my ex-wife." And right after he does stuff with Nora, guys, in case this is a trend, don't do that. Especially when you're in the room with the woman that you just did something with. I mean, that's why this scene felt so unnecessary to me, because F is a smart guy. You can tell he really cares about Nora, and yeah, he cares about his wife, but, I mean, come on. I don't know, I felt like that scene was very unnecessary. But that was my only really huge complaint about the episode, was I felt that was really unnecessary. It added a lot of just drama on the side that nobody needed. And, you know, they kept cutting away, and I like that they cut away from it because I just really didn't want to deal with it anymore. But you see Satrakian bonding with F's son, and I really liked that. You can see that he's interested, and you don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. The last thing we gotta talk about, they reveal the Master's face. Icorst, back in the past, is saying, "I kept up my end of the deal." And the Master says, "Yeah, you have." So he pulls back his hood, and you just see him, and you're like, whoa, that's gnarly looking. He looks nasty, and I love how nasty he looks. I mean, he's got sort of like the same look as the other Strigoi, but he has like these goblin type ears, and I don't know, he looks different enough. And I loved him, and he turned. That's how you see how now Icorst was turned. I think that they are taking some creative liberties. I like the liberties they've taken still. They changed a lot more in this one, I'd say, where more people are teaming up before they really should. The way characters are currently in the world is a little bit different. I like that they're keeping it fresh, though, for the book readers, because I'm still guessing at everything every week. I think that it would be great if we have a giant team up, especially in Season 1. Gus is one of my favorite characters, so I really hope that we can see all of these characters, and we're definitely getting closer and closer to the Master if they're willing to reveal him. So I think that was great. The reveal was perfect because he has that creepy hood all the time, and he pulls it back, and it's a monumental scene, and it just is ingrained in my brain. Alright guys, what did you think of this week's episode? Don't forget to like and subscribe. As you know, I'm keeping the episodes coming every week. So until next time, love you guys.